There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show. Now I'm back with your LFG Season 3, Episode 7 recap show. It's been a really long day, guys. I do apologize. I'm a few minutes late, so I didn't get to go live with you guys last week for the LFG Season 3, Episode 6 recap show. I honestly I wasn't able to. I had to go back and watch LFG earlier before this episode come on, so I could get completely caught up. But thank you guys for everybody that tuned in earlier for Sunday Night Scoops. Had close to, I believe, 200 views or something like that. About 85 or 90 comments. So thank you guys so much for that. So let's get right into it. LFG Season 3. Obviously, we'll go over the coaches as always. We have the OG coaches that's still on LFG, which is Booker T and Bubba Ray Dudley. They have been there for all three seasons of LFG. Matt Bloom is heavily featured, and he worked with the talent. He's heavily featured in this season as well. On the shows, Shawn Michaels, you see a lot of him, which you pretty much see him on every season. But the two new coaches they have this season are Natalia and Kevin Owens, which I think they bring extra spunk and stuff to the show. So I definitely enjoy them being on there. It looks like we're almost halfway through the season. LFG usually has about somewhere between 14 and 16 episodes. So it looks like we're about halfway through Season 3 tonight with Episode 7. So let's just kind of get into it. I don't usually break down match for match with the moves and everything like that. So we'll just kind of talk about what happened on the episode, and if anybody is able to tune in. I know it's late. It's already almost Monday morning on the East Coast, but LFG likes to air so late at night. That's the only complaint I have about LFG, is it always comes super late. But I do like that it's only an hour long, so it's not a whole lot to have to worry about covering and stuff like that. But once again, the coaches are Booker T, Bubba Ray Dudley, Kevin Owens, and Natalia. So there is a special guest tonight on LFG Season 3, Episode 7, and that is going to be none other than Johnny Wrestling himself, Johnny Gargano. So he's featured tonight. He is going to be. We'll kind of just go over the matches. But the episode title for Episode 7 is Cruise Control. Ever since Episode 5, we saw Elijah Holyfield, who was a well-known favorite for Season 2, get injured last season. Ever since Episode 5 on LFG, a lot of the focus has been on Elijah Holyfield and his rise back to the top of the LFG roster. So, like I said, the episode title for Episode 7 is Cruise Control, which this episode centers around the veteran mentor and the former been with WWE for 10 plus years, former United States champion and Intercontinental champion Apollo Crews, who's been with WWE for over 10 years. This episode is actually going to have the biggest main event that they've ever had on LFG. And we'll kind of get to that later on. So the episode opens up with they kind of show Kiana Carver. Obviously, if you guys watch NXT, Kiana Carver is a big mainstay on the NXT roster. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. I did watch NXT. I haven't missed NXT in a while, but I did watch him last week on NXT, or 2 weeks ago, I believe. And he actually went up against Tate Wilder, who we seen tonight on LFG. So the episode opens up with Keanu Carter, and it looked to me like they were doing like they're kind of showing Keanu working out, and then they cut to a part where Keanu Carter's in the ring, and he's having a verbal confrontation with not only the people he's working with, the other superstars that's in LFG, but he's having a verbal altercation with Booker T, which is one of the coaches, he's one of the mainstays for LFG, and very highly touted by the company. So, Keanu Carter kind of has the attitude of he really just don't want to listen to anyone. He thinks that, I mean, he's a freak athlete, just big time freak athlete, but he just don't want to listen to anyone. So the episode kind of starts off, obviously, Cam Hendricks on the last episode got called up to the NXT roster, and he just had a NXT championship match this past week against Tony D'Angelo. So it's good to see. Like I said, this season for me has been my favorite. I do feel like they kind of have been. I love Elijah Holyfield, by the way, but I do feel like they've been kind of latched on to. It's kind of the focus has been a lot about him since episode 5. In the previous seasons, you know, it was all centered around who had the best matches and who impressed the coaches and stuff like that at the end of the night, because it was a point system and all that. There's really not. This season doesn't really focus around the point system and all that. At the end of the night, it's all about, it's just a make it or break it type thing, where you're either going to get that call in like Cam Hendricks did last episode, where he got pushed up to the NXT roster. Obviously, if you guys don't know who Cam Hendricks is, he is married to Maxine Dupree, that's on WWE Raw, former Women's Intercontinental Champion Maxine Dupree. But Keanu Carter, just that the coaches are just, you know, he doesn't want to listen. So Shawn Michaels, they're doing an interview with Keanu Carter. He's all mic'd up and all that. Shawn Michaels walks up and says, you know, you're just freakishly good, but you really have this issue with listening to people and not wanting to do that. And the people don't really want to work with him on the LFG side. So Shawn Michaels says, well, they maybe not want to work with you, but I feel like I have a spot for someone like you. And I guess your attitude and the way you operate on the NXT roster. So Keanu Carter is getting that bump, which not be really a shock to me. When you look at him, I mean, he's just built like I don't know. He's really good. Very big and strong. So it made a whole lot of sense. He's just got this. He even on the NXT roster, he even had verbal jarrings with. He was the one that interrupted the appreciation night for Booker T back a few weeks ago, several weeks ago, on NXT back in Houston, Texas. So there's no love lost with Keanu Carter and Booker T, or that's the way they put it out on the show anyway. So Shawn Michaels tells Keanu Carter they have a spot for him on the NXT roster. So Keanu Carter is going to be bumped up to the NXT roster, which he's already on as right now anyway. So like I said, the coaches is mainly going to be involved tonight. In our opening match, I was kind of run through the match to tell you the matches we had tonight. In the opening match of the night, we have Harlem Lewis, who will go one-on-one with Tate Wilder. And that is the match where we will see the surprise guest of Johnny Gargano. So in this match, you know, they're working the promos in the back. Johnny Gargano is working with with Harlem Lewis and Tate Wilder. Matt Bloom has told them that both of them are definitely rising stars, and they see a lot of potential in both of them. And so both of them are super excited to work with Johnny Gargano. They showed clips and stuff of him being in NXT and everything that he's done for NXT. That's basically one of, I would say, top five ever to be in NXT. That's why they call him Johnny Wrestling. So, but the opening match is going to be Tate Wilder going 1-on-1 with Harlem Lewis, and Johnny Gargano is going to be working with both men. So, if you've been watching NXT television, Tate Wilder has been featured heavily. He's hasn't really gotten many wins that I've seen on NXT television, but he's a hot flyer, and he takes a lot of risk in the ring. So, and then Harlem Lewis he's just strictly a powerhouse. He's built like crazy built, and so I think that for me, the thing that Johnny Gargano was focusing more on with both of these guys was getting a crowd reaction and stuff like that. So they kind of work. He kind of worked with them on their promos and stuff like that. But both of them, they have really good chemistry. Outside of the ring, I suppose they're friends because they really gel well together on their backstage, the way they are backstage and their promos and stuff like that. But this match was a hard hitting match. You can see Johnny Gargano sitting in the back, or ringside area, but in the back, watching the match with Kevin Owens and I believe it's either Bubba Ray or Booker T. I can't remember which one it was, but they made a comment during the match that either Tate Wilder or Harlem Lewis, I believe it was Harlem Lewis. No, it was Tate Wilder. Tate Wilder was starting to look really tired. So like I said, it was about a 6 to 7 minute match with Harlem Lewis. Tate Wilder climbs up on the top rope to go for a finishing move toward the end of the contest, and even the coaches noticed that Tate Wilder looked like he was just out of it. That's why they made the comment like mid-match that Tate Wilder looked like he was super tired. So Harlem Lewis goes up top, pushes Tate Wilder down. Harlem Lewis scores the pinfall victory over Tate Wilder. So after the match was over, Matt Bloom obviously talked with them, told them he feels like they did a good job and stuff like that. So after that, Johnny Gargano, obviously same thing. Shout out to Johnny Gargano for coming on the show. That's one thing I love about LFG is they bring these special coaches in, and you get to see how people are coming. This episode this season, or all LFG season, take place at the Performance Center. So you get to see, Matt Bloom working with the talent, and you get to see how things are not from the business. I mean, it has a business aspect, obviously, always with WWE, but you get to see things that you just don't get to see on your weekly television episodes. You get to see the grind that these superstars have to go through to try to impress these coaches and the talent coordinators, and Matt Bloom and Shawn Michaels and all them, because they're trying to earn their way up and get themselves a roster spot, whether it's on NXT, AAA, like we saw Drake Moreau get, Roxanne Perez's boyfriend Drake Moreau get, moved up to the Undertaker. But after the match, Tate Wilder backstage, and they're talking to him, and Tate Wilder says that he feels like something was in his eye during the match. So they kind of examine him, and I guess they really don't find anything. They say maybe it's like a small cut or something like that. So they said they definitely had to check him out more to make sure that everything was going to be okay. But you can definitely notice during the match, Tate Wilder starts slowing down, and then he goes to do an aerial move off the top rope, and he just kind of stops right there. He's not able to finish the climb and do the aerial move off the top rope. So that was definitely interesting to see how they handle that kind of stuff when even because you don't really see that stuff when you're watching matches on the main roster or even NXT. So it was definitely good to see. But Tay Wilder ended up losing this match. So, but it was a good match, and Johnny Gargano did a phenomenal job as always. Booker T praised Harlem Lewis' intensity, but questioned whether he could stay composed under pressure, but very focused on character development. Natalia made a comment about emphasizing fundamentals of ring awareness. Shawn Michaels, at the beginning, ideally, besides he praised Keanu Carter's physical tool, but challenged him to show more emotion and connect with the audience. This segment was a major learning moment rather than a disciplinary meeting. Coach later discussed whether Keanu Carter had championship level potential, which he does, and that's why he was called up. Harlem Lewis, Tate Wilder. Harlem Lewis got the pinfall victory over Tate Wilder because, I mean, this man was wrestling with something like either a big, huge cut on the inside of his eye or he really couldn't see anything. So, definitely interesting there. Booker T loved Harlem Lewis' aggression, but wanted more selling. Tagging Wilder's timing and movement. Harlem Lewis was portrayed as the stronger performer coming out of the match tonight. So Harlem Lewis gets the win in the opening match here on LFG over Tate Wilder. So we will move to match number 2. That will be the returning to LFG after being on season 1 as P Nasty. They called her P Nasty, Panina Tallulah. She was a dominant force in season 1 and 100% a top 2, if not a top 3, if not a top 2, maybe even the Dark Horse, or not the Dark Horse, but she was a strong favorite to win season 2 that was won by, at that time, they call her Danny Rose. So, but PJ Vasa has been part of LFG for all 3 seasons. She will be taking on Mason Holiday. And Booker T will be working with PJ Vasa and Mason Holiday on this match. Now, PJ Vasa and Mason Holiday are kind of going over everything in the ring on what they want to be doing tonight with Booker T. The Women's Showcase is going to emphasize technique and character work. So when Booker T is coaching the ladies, he said that, or PJ Vasa says that Booker T reminds her of like an old neighborhood friend or something like that. She made some sort of comment like that where it's Booker T kind of gives. She's been with them for so long, and obviously I believe she was coached by Booker T in season 1. I believe it was one of the 2 seasons she was coached by Booker T. But Booker T gives her that security blanket to where she can, if she ever gets uptight or anything like that, then she's able to perform because Booker T is just like talking to an old friend, basically what she said. He makes her feel comfortable, and Booker T is phenomenal. I really like how the Hall of Fame superstars are working with this younger talent, trying to get them ready to come up to the main roster. Because as we can see, NXT has been skyrocketing with the superstars that's been coming up to the main roster. Mason Holiday is her first season on LFG. She's got I believe it's a gymnastic background. She's very pretty girl, very flamboyant as well as very athletic in the ring. PJ Vasa and Mason Holiday are going through their match spots. That's something that I love about LFG is you get to see the talent basically rehearsing. If that's, I don't even like using that word, but basically going through all their match spots pre-match. So I I like to see all aspects of the wrestling business, and for me, that's definitely one of the top things about LFG. To get to see the talent going through their spots and all that with on the show, with the person they're going up against the match. So Booker T, he he let PJ Vossa know that she's the veteran here, but Mason Holiday is super talented, and they really don't want PJ Vossa to lose that. It's been a rough year and a half for her. Obviously, you saw her on Evolve. She'd been on WWE Evolve. I believe she's had some title matches and stuff on Evolve. I believe with maybe Kendall and Callie Armstrong, who both are on the NXT roster now in the main event picture for NXT. PJ Vossa, they said she had a rough go of it in Evolve, and it's mainly focused on like the finish, the finish stuff of the matches. She gets super aggressive, but then she lets up when it comes to certain aspects of the finish. Mason Holiday, she is just a natural. I mean, I haven't seen her. Maybe she's been on Evolve. Like I said, I don't watch a whole lot of Evolve, but I watch plenty of wrestling right now. But Mason Holiday she obviously PJ Vossa has the size advantage, but they work really well together. And Mason Holiday ends up picking up the pinfall victory over PJ Vossa, and she does it in a very cool way. I felt like PJ Vossa went for one of her devastating finisher moves, and Mason Holiday ended up getting a roll up on PJ Vossa. So Mason Holiday picks up a big win tonight on LFG against PJ Vossa. After the match was over, they talked with both ladies. In the back, they were both very happy, and that's one thing that you can see on LFG is after the match they come through the curtains. They were complimenting each other, like pumping each other up before the match, and Gorilla, or not really, looks like Gorilla, but it's not. Inside the curtain before they come out. Mason Holiday is going to be a superstar. She's got the look. She's got the feel for the audience. I mean, she come out dancing, and even the announcers were talking about her theme song and all that. And yeah, she's just going to be a star. Matt Bloomington met with PJ Vossa or Booker T and met with them as well. Talked about the match structure, and he basically said both ladies did really well. So these ladies are definitely two ladies to look at. I don't understand why PJ Vossa is not on the NXT roster, but these ladies are definitely two ladies to look at in the future on NXT television. Mason Holiday picks up the big win over PJ Vossa tonight. So we will get to the main event of the evening, and it is the main event of main events. This was promoted as the biggest match in LFG Season 3 history, or LFG history, really. So like I said, this is going to be Elijah Holyfield going one-on-one with the 10-year plus veteran of WWE, Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is former United States champion and Intercontinental champion. So just a little backstory on this. Elijah Holyfield is, like I said, he missed majority of last season and came back this season. He tore his so. But Apollo Crews has been doing a lot of work with NXT and with LFG in the Performance Center. So Apollo Crews saw Elijah Holyfield in episode 5 when he made his debut on the show. And he went to Matt Bloom and them and Shawn Michaels, and he asked specifically to work and have a match with Elijah Holyfield. So that is the main event of the evening tonight. Apollo Crews is very, very high on Elijah Holyfield. Now, Kevin Owens is the coach, but obviously Apollo Crews, Kevin Owens made it very apparent that telling Elijah Holyfield that he was going to be in good hands in this contest because Apollo Crews is a seasoned vet on the WWE roster. Elijah Holyfield is going into this match looking to prove he belongs against an established WWE veteran. Apollo Crews entered as experienced mentor, determined to teach a lesson. This is more of a mentor versus student battle. So, one thing that I picked up from Kevin Owens, I definitely put this down on my notes to make sure that I talked about it for tonight's episode. Kevin Owens was talking to, as Elijah and Apollo were kind of talking, working their match out, talking it through and all that. Kevin Owens made a point that, or something that I didn't even know. Obviously, because I'm not paying that much attention to certain things like that. But these wrestlers, they have certain things that they do during the match, either when they have a mess up or they forget, maybe they have a brain fart or something like that, where they forget what they're going to do for the next part of the match. Kevin Owens said, if it ever gets to that point, you just automatically go to putting your opponent in a suplex so that you got it's a good way to talk. And I mean, that makes 100% sense. I don't know why I didn't. I just don't. I mean, you see that happen in professional wrestling, but you don't think, oh, well, maybe they're mapping out their next move or whatever, but that's exactly what they're doing. So, as I said, Apollo Crews, he touted out Elijah Holyfield, and since episode 5, and he went to Matt Bloom and Shawn Michaels and asked for a match with them. This was a hard-hitting contest with Elijah Holyfield and Apollo Crews. They locked up, and they're both about the same size. They're just super, super heavyweights. They did a like chest bump and stuff like that, trying to knock each other over. Elijah Holyfield and Apollo Crews both bounce off the ropes and do shoulder tackles to each other several times to knock the other one out. Elijah Holyfield ends up getting the best of Apollo Crews on the shoulder tackle. And Apollo Crews claps, and he's like, "Oh crap, this guy's the real deal." But he walks around the ring, they get back into action. Apollo Crews puts him in a headlock. Elijah Holyfield tries and gets out of it, reverses it. And then we go outside the ring. Elijah Holyfield does, when he's in the sleeper type hole by Apollo Crews, he elbows him in the face. And that really woke Apollo, like that got Apollo Crews' attention for sure. He caught that elbow to the bridge of the nose. So Apollo Crews was stunned by Elijah Holyfield with that elbow. But in the closing segment of the match, Elijah Holyfield, Apollo Crews used his veteran smarts. Like I said, this is the mentor versus the student. Apollo Crews got in position on the outside of the ring, and Elijah Holyfield, with his dad being one of the greatest of all time, Evander Holyfield's son, he goes for that punch on the outside of the ring. Apollo Crews made sure that he was in the right place at the right time. He was by the ring post, and Elijah Holyfield ended up punching the ring post, which you see all the time on NXT and on WWE television. Think, it's not really that big of a deal. But ultimately it was, because Elijah Holyfield hit his hand on that post, and he got into the ring and acting like he was selling it really well, that his hand was either broken or there was structural damage to it or something because he went straight to the referee. Apollo Crews took advantage of that and rolled up Elijah Holyfield for the 1-2-3. So Apollo Crews gets the victory in the main event, which in my opinion was the biggest main event that they had on LFG in 3 seasons, with Apollo Crews going one-on-one with Elijah Holyfield. After the match was over, they come to Elijah come to the curtain first. Shawn Michaels is there, and he said that Shawn Michaels said phenomenal job, but on the shoulder tackles, he made him laugh, obviously, but he said that Elijah was kind of not leaning into it. He was just kind of standing there, kind of waiting for the shoulder tackle. And he's like, at the end of the day, like when these superstars are doing these shoulder tackles with each other, they don't just stand there like kind of like a bump on the log, so to speak. Kevin Owens, he enjoyed it. Obviously, that was one of the things he talked about was their first lockup. He said, when you do things like that, you grab the crowd's attention, and obviously people watching home on TV for all these events and all these wrestling matches, that's the first thing that's going to grab their attention and make them have 2 strong people like that lock up and show that competitiveness and fierceness and passion about what they're doing. You can draw the attention of people that's watching in the crowd and watching at home. So, like I said, it was the biggest main event that they've had on LFG with Elijah Holyfield, proving that he is ready for that next step, which would be the NXT roster. I mean, he's obviously, I haven't seen him on NXT television, but he's definitely there. A couple of things that I picked up was Elijah Holyfield loves to use his strength, but he definitely needs some work on selling and stuff like that. The falling down, stuff like that. I felt like there was a couple of spots. I mean, he's a strong guy, and the match wasn't terrible. And if he can get it all together, he's going to be absolutely just somebody to reckon with on the main roster if he's ever able to get up to the main roster. But so Kevin Owens, like I said, very impressed. Kevin Owens gets with them, Elijah, after the match, and tells Elijah that he needs to go to Matt Bloom. And Elijah Holyfield's like, oh, no, I messed up on this and this, and he's like, oh, it's all right, it's gonna be. It just takes time and experience of getting in the ring and doing these spots over and over and over, repetition of doing these spots over and over and over and over again. So Elijah Holyfield was a focal point again tonight. Obviously, the title name was Cruise Control, which was the main event. Elijah Holyfield against Apollo Crews. This was a showcase for Elijah Holyfield's growth against one of WWE's most athletic veterans, rather than simply a win or loss. Based on the episode promotion and focus, Elijah Holyfield appears to be the standout performer of Cruise Control. The show heavily emphasizes his opportunity to test himself against Apollo Crews, to prove he belongs among WWE future stars. One thing that Kevin Owens talked about at the end of the episode, it was just Tim, is he said that Elijah Holyfield, he felt like would be ready for NXT next week. And that his opinion, he felt like Elijah Holyfield could be on NXT next week and prove that he belongs there. So that's a big thing from Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens, I always like Kevin Owens to begin with, but I love that he's working with this talent at the Performance Center, getting them ready. Elijah Holyfield is a favorite now to be getting promoted up to the NXT roster, or getting sent to, or getting moved to AAA or Evolve or somewhere where he can showcase his talent. Kevin Owens praised Holyfield's confidence, Booker T loved Holyfield's intensity. Let's see. So basically, that is your LFG Season 3, Episode 7 recap for the show name was, episode title name was Episode 7 Cruise Control. So we'll go through the matches really quick again with you guys. I don't have many people watching, it's so late. So in the first match, we had Harlan Lewis beat Tate Wilder. So Tate Wilder had some sort of eye injury, scraped his eye or something like that. It made him like very dizzy and stuff like that. But Harlan Lewis was victorious over Tate Wilder in the first match. Hoping Tate's fine. He hit on television, so he's fine. Match number 2, Mason Holiday scored an upset victory over the seasoned vet of LFG, PJ Vasa. I'm looking forward to seeing PJ Vasa on the NXT roster. Hopefully she's working up there soon. Mason Holiday is definitely someone to keep your eye on in the future on NXT television. She has the beauty, the athleticism, and the flamboyancy to connect with the fans, and that's what it's all about. It's telling a story with the fans. In the main event, this was the main event of main events on LFG. Elijah Holyfield, after being out for season 2 with a torn bicep, coming back for episode 5 of season 3, that was in the main event against the 10-year plus vet of WWE, Apollo Crews, former United States champion and Intercontinental champion. So this has been your LFG recap, LFG season 3, episode 7 recap here on the EVP show. Make sure if you guys do go back and watch live here on the EVP show, hit that like button. It helps me out on my stream and the algorithm. Once again, this has been your LFG Season 3, Episode 7 recap show. Sunday, June 7th, super late, 12:15 a.m. on the Eastern Standard Time Zone. We are live on my YouTube channel as well as my X and DWE Television X page as well. Make sure you follow DWE Television on X, and you should like and subscribe to Talking Up Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, which is Miami the Great and Final Boss Baby. Make sure you follow them on X, and you can find DWE Television on Twitch as well. So make sure you hit the follow button to DWE Television, DWE TV, and DWE Television on Twitch. You can catch a lot of episodes of DWE Radio on Twitch as well. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to Talking Up Wrestling Podcast tomorrow before Monday Night Raw. An hour before Monday Night Raw comes on, you can catch the rundown with the World of Greg and Kyle the Man Anthony tomorrow, an hour before Monday Night Raw. Make sure you follow both of them on X. Tune in to the rundown with the World of Greg and Kyle the Man Anthony tomorrow, 1 hour before Monday Night Raw comes on as they break down the card and what's coming up on Monday Night Raw tomorrow compared to France or today on the East Coast right now. Also follow Derek Ridge, Abjo Slam Podcast on X, as well as subscribe to him on YouTube, Smoke Session Podcast on X and YouTube as well, and the Sports Jedi Network. I'm going to go ahead and go to the outro, and I'll be back to tell you guys where you can find me on socials and what I have coming up for you guys this week. This has been the recap Sunday, June 7th, 2026, episode number 7, titled Cruise Control.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports, Let Go, Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports, Let Go.
All right, once again, this has been your LFG Season 3, Episode 7 recap show, live here on EVP Show, Sunday, June 7th, 2026. Make sure if you do go back and watch the stream, please hit the like button on the stream. It helps my algorithm on my YouTube channel. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you already are subscribed, turn the notification bell on, and you will be reminded when I go live for it. And you will enjoy this daily wrestling content that I put out. All of my social media channels are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. If you're looking for me on X, you can find me at EVP2JP. Follow me on X and go all the way up to the top of my page, and you will see my YouTube link. Then at the top of my page, please hit the retweet button and share with your friends and family that you know that will enjoy wrestling content, and have them come and tune in and hit the subscribe button to my YouTube channel. On Instagram, you can find me at EBPCJP. It's a business account, but you can find all my videos for upcoming streams that Miami and the World of Greg make for my daily wrestling videos for my stream coming up. And my YouTube page is pinned in my bio as well for on Instagram. On TikTok, you can find me at Brady the Goat 21. That's at BRADYDA Goat 21. Once again, you can see all of my videos made by Miami the Great and the World of Greg for my upcoming daily streams on TikTok. Last but not least, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you can't find my YouTube channel, which is in all my social media, that I'll give you the Instagram, the X, and the TikTok. If you can't find that on any of those pages, then you can go to the search bar in the top right hand corner, type in at the EVP show, where I have almost 1,000, close to it, live videos, so many shorts, I don't even know how many, a lot of shorts, and a couple of pre-recorded videos of WWE Unreal. And if you are subscribed, please share the link of my YouTube page to your friends and family. I know they will enjoy this daily wrestling content. Once again, that is at the EVP show. And if you are subscribed, as I said earlier, please turn that notification bell on. It will remind you when I go live. It's pretty much every day. What I have coming up for you guys tomorrow, we're back for another WWE Raw that's going to have an early start time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast, 1 p.m. Eastern Central Time. They're going to be live from Paris, France. You can catch me at 8:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Early stream for Monday Night Raw. I missed you guys last Monday, but you can catch me at 8:30 p.m. Eastern today or tonight, tomorrow, whenever you are in the world. 8:30 p.m. Eastern for your Raw recap show. Tuesday night, I'm back at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT recap show. Wednesday, I'm off. Thursday night, come tune in with me. We're getting close to TNA's anniversary at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the TNA recap show. Friday night, we only have 2 more SmackDowns, I believe, that are 3 hours. So come tune in Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap show. I'm off Saturday. Come back in again with me next week as we're over the halfway point of Doubleheader Sunday. First tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern next Sunday, as you guys did earlier today, for the Sunday night scoops with the EVP at 6 p.m. Eastern next Sunday. Come back for the finale, not the finale, but the nightcap of Doubleheader Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern next Sunday. Come back and tune in with me for the LFG Season 3, Episode 8. Episode 8. Man, we're almost done with LFG. Episode 8 recap show next Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And that is my schedule for the rest of the week. Be on the lookout on X, as I will be making a post probably tomorrow. I'm not lie to you. I'll probably do it Wednesday. Since I'm off. Be on the lookout for it Wednesday, as I will be making a post for June the 24th, 2026. I will be doing a prediction show for NXT, Great American Bash, and WWE Night of Champions. And we'll be doing them together. So you guys, if you have never been on the show or never been on a prediction show, always want to get on YouTube, hit that comment on the post on X. It will be posted on X. So if you do follow me on X, you will be able to see it. And that is at EBPCJP. Make sure you follow me on X. And if you want to come on the stream, comment on the post. If you don't want to show your face on camera, I understand. If you just want to come on, that's totally fine as well. We will be doing a prediction show for both PLEs, NXT Great American Bash and WWE Night of Champions, Wednesday, June 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So definitely want to have a full panel. So if you guys see the post, make sure you comment on it or send me a DM on X as well. I'll put you on the list. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the LFG Season 3, Episode 7 recap show and Sunday Night Scoops earlier. And we got another doubleheader Sunday in the books. I will see all of you guys tomorrow, Monday, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Raw recap show. I am the EVP show, and the Golden Boy, DWE. DWE is the only place to be. Have a good night. Have a good Monday at work, everyone. And I will see you guys back here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, tomorrow, wherever you are in the world, for the Raw recap show. Good night, everyone.